All right, you're good to go.
All right, so welcome to my senior project. I did a little bit of research and observation and also participated in acting. These are some pictures. Don't make fun of them. There's Kylie. She's just a sea creature, just chilling. But anyways, here we go. So we all have brains. Everyone knows that we have a brain, right? Your left side is logic, and your right side is creativity. Most times, we don't use both sides of our brain, which means that we're not accessing a lot of neurological pathways that we could build. You might think that in school we use the creative side, but at the end of the day we kind of get boiled down to one SAT score, which means that creativity isn't used a lot. In sports, we also only really use the logic side. So both in school and sports we only use logic, even though we think there might be some creativity, but not really. And then the right side, can I start again?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna try again. I'm stressed out.
It's okay.
All right. Here we go. Okay, so we have a right and left side of our brain. The left side is logic, and the right side is creativity. Tom Brady and school, so sports, both fall in the left side of our brain, logic. You're using all of the social pathways that you've built and all of the logical ones. And the creative side is more of art and music. When our neurological pathways aren't used, they break down, and then you have to take a long time to build them back up. It's kind of like going for a run. It seems really hard, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And that is exactly what it's like when you're using pathways in your brain. I don't think I even introduced what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how theater affects the brain. Yeah. Another important part of theater is empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. In this day and age, it's really hard to experience empathy because we're all going through different challenges and trying out new things, and that makes it kind of hard to connect with other people. Some of us have bigger problems than others, but that makes it kind of hard to connect. The thing about empathy is that when you're participating in theater, both the actors and the audience experience it. The actor puts on a character that obviously they probably don't really connect with that much, and that means that they have to empathize with those experiences that the character has been through. The audience, on the other hand, kind of has to empathize with the people on stage to try and understand the story. So everyone here has seen Romeo and Juliet, right? And we know that at the end of the movie, the two star-crossed lovers end up dying. That usually leaves the audience with a feeling of melancholy, really sadness, and that's empathy. You're feeling empathy for the characters. Another example is the Joker in Batman, which everyone probably knows who that is too. Heath Ledger played the Joker, and he never experienced someone kind of smile into his face or a lot of abuse that obviously the Joker did. But Heath Ledger won numerous awards before he died, and after he died actually, for how well he could empathize with his character of the Joker and put on all these events as if he had experienced them. Another really important part of acting is that you get to make a lot of awesome friends. Unlike sports, there's not a lot of pressure and competition. You're never put on the spot for your talent. We never even sang in front of each other during theater. We all sang in like one big group, unless you got like Ariel, but that's different because you have to be really confident for that. But anyways, it's really good for making close friends and a huge group of friends. There were 70 of us. And that means that like you get to be with these people without feeling like you're less than them or more than them based off of like, you know, when you're doing athletics, it all comes down to how well you are at doing that. Another really great thing about acting is that you can learn to kind of like step out of the pack and be a little bit of a leader. Because you're in such huge groups, you can kind of like lead the like dance sessions and singing and stuff like that. So basically for my project, as I mentioned previously, I kind of like researched, observed, and like also took place in it to try and learn. So I was in The Little Mermaid. I was a sea creature, which I didn't really do a lot. I was really on stage for like 10 minutes of the entire 2-hour production. But I still had to kind of empathize with my character because everyone knows The Little Mermaid is, right? Seen Ariel? Yeah, okay. It would be kind of lame if we were standing there around the boat when like Ariel and Prince Eric went to kiss and we're just kind of like, whatever, this is cool, don't care. But we got into it, which made it really interesting for the audience. So I definitely had to like empathize a little bit, although not as much as Ariel had to with her character. but I got to see how the audience really like engages in theater as well, and how a lot of different people were affected by theater. There were a lot of girls and guys that I'd seen in the hallway, so I didn't really see with a lot of friends, and after the play they were friends with me and with other people. One of the people I met, Amy, actually in the play, we're really close friends now. We do track together. And so I guess if there's like one takeaway I want you to take away from this, even though this project has been up and down, even this presentation has been iffy, try to like encourage others to act, or even yourself act. That doesn't mean you have to be part of theater. There's a lot of stigma around it, which should not be there. It's actually really great. But to like get into it and try it out, because you get to use both sides of your brain, which we really don't do enough. It's really bad, actually. We need to try and use it more. And acting is so great because you get to use both sides, and it also doesn't take a lot of time. During the fall, I didn't do a sport, but I would weightlift, and I also took driver's ed, got my license, woo. But I could also do this, and that was really fun because I got to be social with people when I was otherwise alone, weightlifting by myself. And that's my project. Thank you.
Great job, Eve.
That was the worst thing I've ever done in my entire